Hello, everyone. This is Moo, and welcome to Insomnia Cast, a cast for people who cannot sleep by someone who also cannot sleep. This is the first one, so I will be explaining exactly what this is. The purpose of this cast is for people like myself who cannot sleep or even have insomnia. I'm the person, I have insomnia. And give something to listen to because I can't sleep. Maybe it'll help you sleep, but essentially it's something to listen to when you're having issues falling asleep or need something to relax, or just something to have background noise while you're working on stuff. Hopefully, I can keep it pretty chill and relaxed, and hopefully my voice is okay with that too. Full disclosure: I have a cat, so you might hear cat moving or occasional meowing because he has meowed at me. So hopefully that won't bother you too much. Hopefully that won't happen very often. Another thing I will be discussing, whatever. I'll pretty much be talking about whatever whatever I want to, whatever you guys want me to talk about. For this first episode, I will be picking the topic, but in the future, you could throw in your suggestions about what you want me to talk about. Now, note the topic must be very chill, very calm, and relaxing because if I get too worked up over something, I won't be as quiet, or I have a louder voice that way. So, with that underway, I'll have all this in the description, of course, to explain how this works. But with that all set up, I guess I'll start talking. So for this episode, I will be talking about insomnia itself. Because why not? I mean, this is called Insomnia Cast, so might as well start with the topic of it itself. Next time I'll be able to do suggested ones, because they won't be the first episode. So anyway, why don't you get ready to fall asleep, or at least listen to something nice while you're chilling or trying to fall asleep and failing. It's worth a try. Like I said, hopefully my voice is okay with this. There are plenty of options, of course, here, especially here on YouTube. But I'm happy that you've chosen me. I think these will go about at least an hour. At most, maybe longer, depending on the topic and how long I can keep going. I can talk for at least an hour. I have that ability. Hopefully nothing will interrupt me while I'm talking about this, like doors knocking or people outside, or since as of this recording, it's close to the 4th of July, so there might be some fireworks, but hopefully not right now because it's like the middle of the day at the moment. Alright, well, we get on topic then. So today I'm going to be talking about, another thing. Before I continue, this will be mostly unscripted. I might write an outline for myself if I have trouble coming up with talking points for whatever the topic is, but it'll be pretty much mostly unscripted. It'll be my own filtered thoughts. Also, I might swear because I swear a lot in life, but since I'm keeping it chill, I probably won't swear as much as I usually do. Alright, why don't we get started then? Talking about insomnia. Woo, it's a fun little thing, isn't it, guys? It's not fun. No, it's not fun at all. From my personal experience, I didn't have any issues sleeping, probably. I say probably because I guess I've always had a little bit of trouble falling asleep ever since I was a kid. But, it wasn't, too invasive in my life until later. I think it was around when I got into college. And I think it's mostly my anxiety that's developed into insomnia and insomniac reaction, I guess is the proper term, or maybe it's not. I don't know, it's hard to say. And then I just wouldn't fall asleep. I'd be lying there for hours, or I wouldn't fall asleep until 5 in the morning or whatever, and I just couldn't fall asleep. I just don't know why. Usually it's because of something on my mind, or maybe it's just how just my brain, I don't know, it just developed that way. So ever since then I've had trouble sleeping. Usually for me, especially in college, I would either not sleep at all, or if I go to sleep I wouldn't get restful sleep because it would be broken up from some reason or other, whether just my body just wouldn't relax, or nightmares, or just because, I don't know. It's a mysterious thing, I can imagine. I take medication for it, and it does help. So, hooray. At least there's that, right? Actually, I need to get that prescription refilled. I haven't done so in a bit, but I should probably do that so I can actually go to sleep, because I can't. It's kind of a problem, a little bit. And I have to say, I know somebody who has insomnia, and they had it for a longer time than me, but they deal with it differently than I do. And everyone, I think all of us, anyone who is insomniac, deal with it differently than everybody else. Like, okay, like, for me, it's, usually I'm just like, well, I'm not going to sleep, I might as well do something, like either read or go on the computer. But then there are those nights where you don't want to do anything, you just want to sleep. Or the reason why I'm starting this cast is because I realize there are times where you're just like, I just want to lie here and listen to someone talk for a bit. It doesn't have to be like anything interesting or gravitational, but it could be hard to find things where talking, it doesn't get too, rowdy or loud, or something noisy, or some loud music comes on or whatnot. If you hear the music in the background, I cannot pronounce the name of this classical piece. I'm gonna try Ginopia? Hold on. Gymnopedia? I want to, I don't know. I cannot, like I said, I can't pronounce it. And it's, sorry about the clicking noises. Anyway, I won't be doing that after this. I'll probably have that playing in the background because it's one of my favorite classical pieces. Watch, it's a classical piece, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Story of my life. And mostly because of this anime I like, which is Princess Tutu, and my favorite character that's her motif. It's Rose leitmotif, and so as a result, I took a liking to it. So I still like it. It's quiet in the background. Hopefully, it won't raise any copyright flags. It shouldn't, but I want to be careful. So it's kind of muted in the background. If you think it's too loud or too distracting or whatever, just let me know. I'm pretty open to whatever discussion, to feedback on this. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So like when you're lying there and there's nothing to do, just stare at the ceiling, and you're like, oh man, why can't I fall asleep? No matter what. Because there are nights where, like, the tricks I use are like having ambient noises, like a white noise kind of deal. Like, I have an app on my phone called Sleep Pillow, which actually changed recently. Used to be completely free, but now they're charging sounds. But luckily, since I got it before they did the change, I still have the sounds. So, but that's really obnoxious. But anyway, if you don't mind spending a little extra moolah, it's pretty nice. It's a little app that has all sorts of sounds for you to play while you're trying to sleep. Like, if you want to hear the lullabies, or trains, or rain, or wind, grass, guitar music, whatever. It's pretty nice. So I've used that. That helps. There's like I'm putting on like a podcast of some sort, kind of what I'm doing here now. That's pretty nice too. But there's also like ambient music on YouTube. There's all sorts of relaxed music that you can find. It's pretty nice. But sometimes, or like, I just listen to, I listen to a radio, a Japanese radio, because I learned this actually by mistake. I was staying up watching a stream for new Persona stuff, and I was like, I was like, I don't know, nothing was gonna happen until like 6 a.m. my time. So I was just like, ugh. So I decided to close my eyes a bit, and I fell asleep, and I fell asleep pretty good. And that's when I realized, like, oh, listening to things in other languages helps me fall asleep. I think it's because I don't know the languages very well. So as a result, it's easier to like kind of tune out, but you can still kind of listen. It doesn't give you much to focus on. I think that's the thing. It doesn't distract you as much, which is pretty nice. And that's one way to go about it. Listening to things like that. Which is why I decided to start this cast, because I was like, it would be nice if I could help people in my position as well. Relax a little bit, maybe make things a bit easier, and stuff like that. But let's face it, sometimes nothing works. Like, you sick, she's like, no, I'm just not gonna sleep. So you just kind of gotta wait it out, unless you want to take something, which could lead to problems. I think everyone knows that. I think after this, I know it's a little bit weird to say, but I kind of understand why so many people die because of sleeping pill overdose. Like, I could see why it's very tempting in the middle of the night when you're just like, I just want to sleep. How many of these will it take to sleep? Because sometimes those pills don't even work. So, and you're just like, if I take more, will help me sleep. And don't do that. It's best not to get too dependent on over-the-counter stuff. And B, it just taking more is not going to solve your problem, unfortunately. It's just not going to. Do a solid for yourself and your body, and don't do that. More advice I could say when it comes to insomnia: it's best not to move around like a lot. You feel more rested when you're like lying in your bed or couch or futon instead of walking around and doing stuff, because then that way your body actually gets some sort of rest, even if it's not full rest or anything like that. Better than nothing, But what can you do? Adjusting myself. It's it could be difficult, that's for sure. That's pretty much how I experienced it. When you're lying there hoping to dear Lord that you'll finally sleep. I think the longest I've gone without sleep is like almost a week in college. That was an adventure. Something I started realizing, I don't know if this is true for other people, but when I don't sleep at all, I start to see stuff, like, and nothing like too wild, but just like shapes and shadows seem like they're not like fake. They seem like they're real or something looking at you. Sometimes those things can be friendly, like it's just something that's watching you, and then you walk back to your bedroom and they're not there no more. Sometimes they're on the ceiling, sometimes they're in the corner of the room. Sometimes they're unfriendly, but you're just like, fuck off, man. And or you bring your cat with you, and if your cat's doing alright, then you're probably fine. Or your dog, because I think dogs would also be a good indicator. I think animals are a good indicator of, like, what you're seeing is there or not. They're usually pretty good at it. It doesn't happen too often, seeing things in the dark, like, but it's only, like, when I haven't slept for, like, a really long time that happens. But it is really weird. Like, no, this doesn't normally happen to me, like, during the day or even regular nights. That doesn't happen normally. Like, it only happens if I haven't, like, slept in a long time, and I think that's true for a lot of people, or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just weird. It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah. Take a drink there. Yeah, I've watched movies at night, or just, stuff on the internet. Try to find things that will show me out. Strangely, I sometimes like watch reviews of horror movies, which I think is kind of a bad idea, but like, what else are you going to do? I know. Sometimes you just get in the mood for something, you just like want to watch it all the time. And then trying everything you can to fall asleep. Food can help. I've told, like, ham sandwiches are apparently very good for, like, filling up your belly and making you feel sleepy, and, like, milk's good. Not to have caffeine. I've tried it where I've had caffeine before bed and I don't have caffeine before bed, and there's usually not much of a difference. It's the same thing. It's kind of annoying when people, like, tell you all this, and I'm like, yes, I've tried that already. You don't think I haven't tried all this stuff? It makes it sound like that we're just, someone, want to be like that. Note, I am actually a night owl. I can stay up very late when I want to. That's not usually the problem with me. The problem with me is, you just can't, when you want to go to sleep, you can't. That's the issue that falls, and even if you are a late nighter like me, I kind of like being a night owl. It gives you a different side of things in the dark, and I like nighttime. I like when the stars come out. I like the quietness the world is at when it's nighttime. It's like things stop moving so quickly, and it's just quiet. It's pretty nice. And I remember when I like looking at the night sky, and I live in a place where I live in the Midwest, and for a long time I lived by a city, so you couldn't see the stars that well. So that's why when you could see the stars, or like when you're somewhere you could see the stars really well, I've always really liked that. I think my favorite is one of my favorites. I've been to places where like your light pollution doesn't block out the stars. I think my two favorite moments are I was at I think it was 6th grade. Not 6th grade, wow. Freshman year in high school. Ooh, that's not correct. Anyway, freshman year in high school, we went to a state park to camp for a weekend or something, and I can't remember how long it was. It was a good amount of time, but the night we were there, because it was a good while away from light pollution, I looked up at the sky and I was like, oh my god, that is so many stars. There were so many stars in the sky. It was like the sky, I hadn't seen so many stars in one spot. It was pretty cool. And then the other time was my family and we vacationed to this place in Wisconsin, and it's like, this is the most nowhere place I've ever been. I think it's called Cable, Wisconsin. And we went to Cable, Wisconsin. And it's like super far up northern Wisconsin, like I said, middle of nowhere. And so we stayed at a lake house there for a bit. And in the end, I think it was fun, in retrospect, more than when I was there. Because we all got bored, me and my siblings all got bored really easily. And like, it was so remote that loons live there. And in case you don't know, loons are birds that where they live and nest is in places where there are no humans or very little humans. They only like remote areas. That's why you don't see them very often anymore. That's why their population is having troubles, is because there aren't many places that haven't been touched by humans. And this isn't meant to be like, green my rental measure or anything. It's just the facts. It's just how it is, unfortunately. But what can you do? Anyway, so there were loons there, and there was this big lake, and one night, there were quite a few nights, but I remember the first night I went out and took the stars, and Mom was like, oh, go outside, look at the stars, and we stepped outside, and I went outside by the pier, away from like the house lights at the lake house, and there were even more stars than I possibly could have imagined. It was like absolutely covered in stars. It was so starry, and the lake was reflecting the sky so perfectly that it was hard to tell where the lake ended and the sky began in some areas. And ooh, wow. That's something that I'll never forget in my mind. Something I like to think of when I try and sleep. And to top it off, the loons, of course, were out, and they were making noises. And if you never heard a loon cry before, it's like a wolf. I think is the best way to put it, but it's kind of more echoey, if that makes any sense. It's like a doo, kind of like that. Sorry if that sounded obnoxious. I'm not very good at imitating bird calls. I tried my best. I think, I thought that was really pretty, so I think about that a lot, and I really like it when the stars are out. Where I live now is actually, you can see stars pretty well. It's not as well as I would like it, but pretty good. Maybe one day, if I'm ever like super rich, I will, I want to own 2 houses. There's one place where it's pretty close to people, and then one place where it's more remote, like that place in Cable, and you can see all the stars in the sky. That would be nice. I had a telescope growing up. I didn't really use it much because, well, where I live, if you live that close to a city, it's kind of pointless to have a telescope unless you go far away, which I never really did with my telescope. Only did it like trying to find a place to use it without the lights. It made it hard. That's what happens when you live in the suburbs. So, yeah, I'm not gonna relate this back to Insomnia. Actually, I'm gonna go off topic a lot on these, but that's not the point. My point is not to stay on topic. My point is to talk so you can go to sleep. Hopefully that will help you in some way. Anyway, I've been to a lot of different lake houses, actually. I've been to mostly in Wisconsin. I think there was one in Michigan, but I don't think it was a long time ago, but I don't think it was like a house. It was like a condo that we stayed in. And I remember we were right by the beach, so we could just go out the front door and be on the beach. And the beach is a very pretty place. Lots of shells. I just remember there were a lot of shells there. It was, like I said, it was a long time ago when I went to that one in Michigan. And yeah, most of them were in Wisconsin. And there was only one where we actually interacted with our neighbors there. There's this little boy and girl who lived next door around, like, my age. I was probably, like, I don't know, 12. I don't know, it was a long time ago. And, they were very interesting kids. I don't even remember their names anymore. They're very odd kids. They had a hobby of diving into the lake and retrieving shit that people dropped under the water. And this girl had like 30 bazillion rings because she found them at the bottom of the lake. And their parents would like go out on a boat every morning and just be like gone. They just leave them to their own devices. Like, I was gonna come back with all this fish. I don't know, it was there. And then here's something that's kind of creepy. My older sister caught the boy looking in the window at the shower room when she was going to take a shower. And I had been there before that, so ew. Really gross. But no, they were pretty young. Like, the boy couldn't have been more than, like, 11, maybe. But that doesn't make it okay. It's still pretty creepy. Peering on that, we blocked off the window after that. Probably the best idea, right? That's really nasty. You shouldn't be peeping on people, geez. What can you do? In this case, that was a long time ago. As for other lake houses, I can't remember where else we stayed at. Then that's out of my mind. I just know we stayed at a lot of different hotels. My family was, we traveled a lot. My dad liked traveling. And my mom did too, so there you go. We ended up traveling a lot, mostly by plane. My dad was kind of anti-car. Yeah, but, anti-car. So we took the plane a lot. And I've been to a lot of different places. Probably the fanciest and the most farthest away I've ever been is in Italy. And that was like a year ago now. So that was my most recent trip. I don't know if we'll go on family vacations again because a lot of us are grown now and starting to form our own lives. So that probably would have been the last one, which is fine. I think that's not a bad way to go out. We had been planning for this Italy trip for like years. So it's not like, we're just like, oh, get up and go to Italy. Like, no, it's a pretty long planning trip. Very beautiful place. If you have not been to Europe, or at least not been to Italy, it's like half the time when I was in Italy, I was like, I feel like I should be in Epcot right now, it just felt unreal, I guess, because usually the places don't always live up to the hype of like locations. Like, for example, when I went to Hollywood, I can say I was not impressed with Hollywood. I'm not gonna go. Anyway, I was not too impressed with Hollywood. I was like, oh, this is not as all I thought it was. But Italy was very, very gorgeous. Like, straight out of my textbook pretty. And, excuse me, yeah, that's how I felt about it, when I went there. But mostly I've been to a lot of places around the United States. So, like, I've been majority of the states, actually. I haven't been to all of them. I've been to the majority of them. At least I haven't been to all of them. I don't think I've been to Kansas. which is a little bit random, just not go. I haven't been to a lot of the states like the smaller states on the upper East Coast, like Maine and New Hampshire and those places. I haven't been there at all. I've been to New York City and the state. I've been to, I think that was my cat. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. Sorry about that. Anyway, I've been to, down south. I've been to Louisiana, Florida, Texas. I've been to New Mexico and Arizona. I've been to California. But mostly like mid-California and Southern California. Is there such a thing as mid-California? Southern California. Mostly because, Disneyland and all that. I don't think I've been to Montana. I've been to Idaho. I've been to Wyoming, South Dakota, and North Dakota. Yeah, I think I've been to both of those, both the Dakotas. It's kind of funny. I couldn't think of anything else to name those places. They're just like, oh, we'll just split it in half. Kind of interesting. Been to Nebraska. I've been to Nebraska several times. There's a convention there, so I've been to that several times. And, where else have I been? I've been to Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa. I think I went to Kentucky once, but I don't really remember. Yeah, I've missed a lot of those middle states. I've been to Virginia. I haven't been to West Virginia, but I've been to Virginia. And I've been to Pennsylvania several times. I don't know if I've said that, but now I have again. I've been to New Jersey a little bit. I hope to, I've been to Hawaii. I haven't been to Alaska. Hawaii is a beautiful place. I love it there. It was really nice. I would love to go again, but maybe a little less touristy next time. That would be nice if it could be the case. It's, yeah, like I said, I've been to a lot of places. I just looked at my recording thing. It says there's enough space for 36 hours and 49 minutes. Who's going to be talking for 36 hours? Yeah, I'm going to be sitting here and talking for like a day. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing. Do you guys want to listen to me talk for that long? Though honestly, when I do more of these, it will probably be like about that time. I'm sorry, I forget what I say a lot. It happens, but I'm just here, like I said, I'm just here to talk and help you chill, whatever, do whatever background. This is not something that's meant to be focused on remotely, though you can. I'm not the boss of you, and we're going to break through the microphone and make you pay attention. No, I got other things for that. This is not a pay attention to me kind of deal. It's listen and chill kind of deal. What else can I talk about? I'm talk about stuffed animals, because I do like those. We'll talk about that. Well, I got a lot of stuffed animals. I'm not kidding, I have a lot. And yes, I am a full-grown woman, and I love stuffed animals. I'm sorry, I just do. Actually, nearby me, I have stuffed animals from Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game. They're very cute. I have Foxy closest to me. I'll grab him. There we go. He's very soft. Well, he's the squishiest because I got him first out of all of them. He was the first one released. It was like him and Freddy and then Bonnie I got later. And I just got Chica. She's the chicken. And she came with a cupcake that is removable. I didn't know it was going to be removable. I was pretty pumped about that. It's pretty cool. I really do like this game series a lot. It's I'll talk about it in something else. Well, it's not really something to talk about too much because it's a horror game. Not very relaxing, that's for sure. But I like stuffed animals. I think I've always liked them ever since I was a kid. I think I like them a lot because, well, for starters, I like how they feel. Like, I enjoy textures on things. Like, when I was a kid, I used to, like, try and touch everything. I'm just like, oh, gotta touch this shirt, gotta touch this mannequin, gotta touch everything. And I still kind of have that habit. It's like, I'll just be like, oh, maybe I can touch this. This feels good. It might be a little bit weird, but that's just kind of how it goes, I guess. So I like having different stuffed animals to touch. A lot of them are soft, like similar textures, but a lot of them are different. Pretty soft and smooth and nice. And I have a lot of them, and I do like having them. And I'm not going to change that anytime soon. It's not like I'm impulsively buying stuffed animals all the time, though I have done that, I will admit. Or, like, bringing with me everywhere. They mostly stay home. Like, they pretty much stay home. Shadow. That was the cat I'm talking about. You could probably hear him meowing. He's pretty loud. Aren't you loud, buddy? I don't know what he's meowing about. Maybe he's meowing because I'm not paying attention to him. That's entirely likely. It's nice having a cat, but we're not talking about cats right now. We're talking about stuffed animals. Yay, stuffed animals. Got like small ones, got big ones. My biggest one is a dog. I got when I was 9 years old. Her name is Ribbon. She's pretty big. Though, actually, she's so big that she can't fit on my bed right now, so she's on the floor. But I'm glad I have her still. And, yeah, I got a big old pile on my bed, and everyone's like, Mary, how do you sleep on that bed with all, or maybe, whatever, sleep on that bed with all stuffed animals? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like it. Like, I think to myself sometimes, like, maybe I should have less stuffed animals on here, but then more of me's like, nah. I kind of like it too much. In fact, it was a little bit weird, because a while ago I stayed with my aunt and uncle to help out around the house, and I had my bed, and I only brought one stuffed animal with me. I'm not gonna bring all of them with it. I was just like, man, this is really strange. I don't have all my stuffed animals with me. I guess I've gotten used to it. It's very nice. I personally like it. I just know that one day, my biggest goal is, when I have a house of my own one day, is to have a stuffed animal room, a room just for my stuffed animals. And then my future children can play with them when they're able to play with stuffed animals, because when you're a baby, you usually can't. But, like, when they are older, then they can start playing when they're old enough to be able to play with stuffed animals, though. So it's all theirs. They can play with it as much as they like. That's pretty much, like, my goal. Like, if I got that, I'd be very, very happy. Like, whenever I have kids, and that they are able to enjoy them, too. I assume that by the time I have children, I will be married, but I'll be sharing a bed with my spouse. I don't have the need for stuffed animals. That's another reason why I like them in my bed. It's nice company. Like, I don't know, I guess I feel kind of lonesome. And so whoever I marry will be sharing my bed, and that would be pretty nice. And then I'll finally put my stuffed animals off my bed. But we're not there yet, so hence I have them. It's good. I really enjoy having them. Put one down. There you go, Foxy. He is red and cute. Not like the rest of the game, but they are cute. Stuffed animals. Alright. What else I got on me? I've got nice music playing. Talk a bit about classical music. I don't know that much about it. I can just talk about it, but like I said, I'm just rambling, so you can relax. Classical music. Well, as everybody who's young learn about classical music when you're in school. A lot of people do. Learn about Beethoven and Mozart, and that's all I can remember right now. I know there's so many other composers, but I am not good at remembering these things. I only remember certain pages because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song that would play on TV. Like, I just can't pronounce things. That's nothing new. So I didn't get too much of interest in classical music until I think I was like 12, and I started playing viola, which is a deeper violin, but not as deep as a cello, and it's also smaller than a cello. And I played that for a little bit, not very long though. But I was like, oh, now I'm more interested, and I found out that I really like orchestral music a lot. I was like, cool. I also found out I like piano music, and then I got more appreciation for music. Excuse me. After watching Princess Tutu, because that entire soundtrack is majorly ballet music or classical pieces, and it made me have a new appreciation for it, I have to say, which is a good thing. It's good to know the classics. And of course, everyone knows the best classic. I think it was Mozart. I'm pretty sure it's Mozart. He wrote a piece called Lick My Arse, which is essentially Kiss My Ass. And that's it's kind of amazing that he wrote that, and that still hangs around to this day. Not always uptight as you think you are. That's true with most things in history. It's some people, history. When you look back on history, you think of things more nobly than you would than at the time. Like the founding fathers, for example. I think Hamilton really did a nice job of shedding the light on that. The musical, I mean. I haven't seen Hamilton yet or heard the music yet, though I think I should, because I think I'd probably like it. And I think that showed that, like, you know, they were people too. Like, historical figures were people too. And I think my favorite factoids are all the ones about Ben Franklin, because, oh my god, that guy had an adventurous life. He banged so many women in France. Oh man. Basically, he cheated on his wife a lot. And a lot of people are descended from Ben Franklin in France. Thanks, Ben Franklin. And he wanted the turkey to be our bird, but I think a lot of people know that he wanted that to be our national symbol. They're like, oh, we have the turkey. But they were like, no, the eagle's cooler. And I'm kind of glad we went with the eagle. It kind of looks a bit more majestic than a turkey. I can't even imagine what that would be like. It would just be like, oh man, here's the United States. There's a turkey, gobble, gobble. What would have war propaganda posters looked like if our symbol was the turkey? Like, can you imagine? When, like, England has, like, a lion or some shit, and then you got America with the turkey. There's some alternate timeline history for you. And what if we had the turkey as our symbol instead of the eagle? Thanksgiving would be very different, that's for sure. We probably wouldn't be eating turkey on Thanksgiving. It'd probably just be, I don't know, ham. It's hard to say, even though Thanksgiving is not very factually based anyway in historical context, but I think most of us know that, or at least I hope so. You're paying a little bit of attention in history. I think history is very important. It helps us not make mistakes in the future, just in general. I do like the taste of turkey. It's pretty good. I don't have it that often. I mostly have it either in like sandwiches or like at Thanksgiving. Like, there's no in between. You get those turkey breasts from the Walmart or deli, or the Target deli, if the Target has it. The super Targets have them. Delis or something, or in like packages. Oh, excuse me, I am yawning a lot. Oh my gosh. Gee, I wonder why I'm yawning so much. It's almost like I don't sleep that great. Oh. Luckily, I haven't encountered anything too drastic when it comes to sleep stuff. Like, I don't know what I would do if I had sleep paralysis problems. Oh my god, I can't even, like, imagine. That would scare me too much. I don't think I would be able to handle it okay. But, you know, or anything else that's too crazy when it comes to sleep. I've somehow looped the conversation, or my one-man conversation, back to sleep. Go me. I'll talk about pillows a bit. So pillows, I like squishy ones personally. I don't mind having like a firm one underneath to kind of back it up. Kind of pretty nice. But I do like the squishy ones. I think the one I have has feathers in it. It's pretty nice. Though maybe one of these days I should get a new one. It's starting to come off a little old. I've had it for a long time. Probably since high school. I'm 24 years old, so I'm been out of school for quite a while. So I've had that pillow a long time. And of course the sheets are important, and the weather is a big factor. If it's like too hot, too cold, whatever. If it's hot, I don't know, I kind of prefer it when it's cold a little bit, because then you can just like snuggle up under the covers and you're all good. But if it's too hot, you gotta just lie there and be like, oh my god, how does this heat end? Luckily, lately it hasn't been like super hot. I think we've had rain around here, cooled it down a lot, which is good. It's a good thing. And it's pretty chill in that regard. So night hasn't been too bad. It gets a little bit warm in the front room. Actually, after I'm done recording this, I'm going to turn on the air conditioner. I don't have it on now because I don't want to like interfere with the sound or whatnot, make it too loud. Though, I wonder if people ever use air conditioners for ambient sound, background music, or background sound, white noise, whatever you call it. I don't think too many people have. I wouldn't see why too many people would have it. Interesting. Or like fans. I have heard people using fans as background noise to try and chill, go to sleep. I've heard people use like static helps them, or like beeping sounds help them, or Mary yawning helps them. I'm yawning. Oh, I think I've referred to myself as Mary a few times. Whoops. That's my quote-unquote real name. But my internet name is Moo. You can refer to me as either one. I don't care. That's fine with me. I'll just go by Moo most of the time, unless I forget. I call myself Mary instead. Either way. There's also like, I think I prefer to take a shower at night, because if I don't, I feel nasty when I go to bed. It's not any fun. Though I have skipped showers before, because I just don't feel like it, or if it's late and I don't want to like do the process of taking off my clothes, in the shower, washing myself, redressing, go back to bed, or go to bed anyway. Nah, sometimes I'm just not in the mood. Then as a result, you're just like, well, I'll just not shower tonight and shower the next day. Here's what I've learned. Here's a helpful tip for people who either have like trouble showering or forget or whatever. In my experience, the longest you can go without a shower, without somebody noticing, is about 2 days. Maybe 3, depending on what you've been doing, but 2 days. That's what I found. Then people start noticing. I know this because when I went to camp, we didn't shower daily there, or even every other day sometimes. And I noticed, like, usually around the first and the second day, it wasn't that bad. Couldn't really smell it. But, like, around the third day or the fourth day, then you noticed it. And I was like, we gotta get to the bathrooms right now. We gotta go take a shower. That's when you really start to notice. So, there you go. Pro tip. If you ever have issues with, like, showers and stuff, just, like, keep that in mind. And that way you will smell pleasant, you'll feel better. Showering by bathing actually helps you feel better, and it's better for the people around you. Works out. That's what I think overall. If you don't, even just like washing your face before bed, or that helps if I can't do that. Well, I mostly try to do that to keep the acne down. Yeah, acne's nasty. The thing is, here's a word to the wise. If anyone in their teens is listening to this, acne doesn't go away when you become an adult. It still happens. Some people more than others. Some people it's actually a skin issue, like you're genetically disposed to just having a horrible acne. I use face wash because I'm predisposed to it, and because when I get acne, it just hurts, and I hate that it hurts. Oh my god, no. I cannot handle that. Like, I don't like it, so I use face wash, and I make sure, even if I don't take a shower, I wash my face, because I do not want to deal with it. I don't want to have it on my face. It's gross. No one likes it. There you go. Just, do what you can, what's in your budget. Face washing is good. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to take 1 second for a drink. There we go, much better. It's because I'm doing a lot of talking. And we're well past the 40-minute mark, so we will keep going on this. Like I said, I'm going to make these at least an hour, because in my experience, the amount of time it takes to sleep is at most for me, if I'm not having that much trouble, it's 2 hours. If I'm not having too much trouble. It usually takes like an hour, hour and a half or something along those lines. But, so I think that's a pretty good stopping point. And if you're having trouble, you can just continue to the next episode of this, or, do something else, turn it off, whatever you want to do. Sometimes it's nice when you turn it off and just have some silence. I've had that help before. No, it doesn't always work. As I said earlier, sometimes your body's just like, nah, I don't want to sleep. And then you're just like, well, great, fuck you too. It really does feel like that sometimes. I think also part of like having insomnia. Like, wow, I looped the conversation back to insomnia, yay! As I said a couple minutes ago, I'm repeating myself, but whatever. I think part of it is like also my ADHD, which I have. It makes it, you want to focus on so many things at once. Plus the anxiety. Oh, I also have depression, so that's a great combination, right, guys? No, it's a terrible combination, but it's okay. I'm learning to deal with it, as you do. And it's all good in that department. Or, well, it's mostly good. So when you have those combined problems, you're just like, oh, damn it, now I just gotta try and figure this out the best I can. Yeah, what else do I got about sleep? It's nice to have my cat there. Like, he will sometimes sleep on my bed. I say sometimes because sometimes he doesn't want to be kicked off accidentally, which has happened. I've accidentally kicked him off. Either actually kicked him off, or I move and he just goes whoosh and he jumps right off. Probably because he's offended that I had the audacity to move and disturb his spot. As cats are. They're funny little creatures, aren't they? It's hard to, it's interesting to have a pet. Pets help, just have them around. Or just, it's pretty nice when you, like, watch, like, ocean or fish or anything water related, and it's just nice and flowing. When you, like, the oceans are not entirely blue, They're all sorts of different colors, green, like different shades of green and blue. Sometimes even browns, gray occasionally, depending on the sky. The sea is a mirror that reflects the sky, and it's pretty interesting to look at that way. I think when you're just like, oh man, not really sure what to do, and night has become long, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the sky is there, or the sea's there, and you can look at that and you feel good. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's just kind of how I think about it. Like, I find it relaxing to just watch the clouds move when you can see them moving, or watching even the trees move a little bit, the wind's going. Or, like I said, the sky. I think the sky is my favorite. I like the sky and the water. It's pretty. Or like, well, actually there was one summer my family had a hammock. Anyway, I'll say hammock for now. But, and we had it for like a few summers before it became rusty and stopped working, but stopped functioning well, and it was kind of gross. But anyway, we had it for a while, and the first summer we had it, the 5th Harry Potter book came out, and I listened to all the Harry Potter books. Now, before you get back about that, if you are listening closely, when I was a kid, when the Harry Potter books first came out, I was a little kid, and I was not at my reading level yet, so I listened to them on cassette. This doesn't show my age at all. And I liked the narrator so much that I decided to stay with it, even when I got to the reading level where I could read them. And I did it all the way through up to 7th. And I don't regret it. I really liked that narrator. He was good at what he did. Jim Dale. He also read Night Circus. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It's very good. And the audio version is very good. He knows what he's doing. Anyway, so I listened to the 5th Harry Potter book on my CD player once again showing how old I am, on the hammock for like pretty much the majority of the summer, because that book, the fifth Harry Potter book, is very, very, very long. Oh my god. It was when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's so huge. But I listened to it on the hammock, and I would close my eyes and like relax on it while it's swaying, because hammocks sway a little bit regardless of how much force you put into it. So I actually slept very well this summer, because every time I closed my eyes, I guess my brain kept the hammock feeling in its head. It would feel like I was swaying on the hammock every single time I went to sleep in my bed, and I liked that a lot. I kind of wish I could recapture that feeling, but don't got nowhere to use a hammock. Don't got nowhere in this here, in the place I live in, or outside. But what can you do? Maybe one day I'll have a chance to have a hammock again, and maybe that will help me sleep if I still have sleep problems by that time. I probably have sleep problems, but watch, it's gonna be like the rest of my life. It's hard to say with this kind of thing, you know? But that's what I did for that whole summer. So that was a pretty nice experience, remembering that. I did get through that entire book, and it counted for my summer reading. Yay! No one enjoyed that, even someone like me who enjoys reading. You gotta read X amount of pages in order to count for this arbitrary thing, and I'm like, great, that's wonderful. Luckily, I think the audiobook should count, personally, because then, and as long as you actually listen to it, I don't see why. It's just the same as reading it. You just listen to it. Someone reading it. It's pretty nice. I'm glad audiobooks are a thing. Oh, that'd be fun to do professionally, wouldn't it? I know a lot of people do voices for them, but I don't think I can do that. I don't have the capability to make voices very often. I got like two ranges. I would do them. I would show them to you, but you know, this is supposed to be relaxing, and the only ones I can do is like Mickey Mouse and then something slightly deeper. Something along those lines. It's a little warm in here. It is summer. It is the beginning of July. Who doesn't like July? July's nice. Especially this time of year. Well, hopefully it'll be less humid and sticky. I don't like it when it's humid very much, which happens a lot in the Midwest. Ugh. At least it's not as bad as the South. Oh my god. It's so humid down there. You could like drink the air. It's ridiculous. It can get really warm. And you're just like, bleh. I think my favorite times of seasons are like spring and fall. And because like it's not too hot or cold. And that makes it very, very, very pleasant. And the only downside for me is that I have seasonal allergies, so woo, I get to sneeze all the time and enjoying my nice weather. I'm like, no, I'll enjoy this weather. No one can stop me. I like those seasons more than anything, because winter's too darn cold, and then summer's too darn hot. Spring and fall are just right. I could wear my hoodies. I like hoodies. I have quite a few of them. They're like the jacket is the zip up. I like those kind. I don't mind the pullover. It's just like I when I want to take it off, I don't want to take off my entire shirt with it, you know. I used to wear the pullovers a lot when I was in junior high. Actually, I had this one pullover hoodie, and it was I got it in Washington D.C. and it said FBI on it. It was blue, and was it Washington D.C.? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Washington D.C. I was wondering if it was that or New York City, but I'm pretty sure it was Washington D.C. And I wore that for a long time. I think I outgrew it. Was the thing. I got taller, so it didn't fit me as well anymore. And then my siblings started wearing it, and then it got older, and you know, just got too old, too worn to be useful. I still have a few pullover hoodies, but I mostly have zip-ups because they're the kind I really like. I like wearing the zip-up hoodies. I got this one. It's a jacket material. It's a sports jacket, and it's for one of my costumes that I wear when I go to conventions, and I really, really like it. but I can't. But I had not a great time because like right after like I like had it and started wearing it, it got warm. So now I'm not wearing it right now because it's too warm for jackets. So I'm just like, oh, darn it. Luckily, fall will come again, so I'll be able to wear it again then. I can words. I know what I'm doing. I got this. So that's my personal preference. Maybe you guys should let me know if you have a preference between hoodies or jackets or whatever. We got winter coats, though I don't like winter coats as much. You know, they're bulky and hard to carry around if you don't want to wear them. And they do keep you warm, but you know, you're just like, darn it, I wish I could like combat this in a cube and shove it in my purse or my bag or my backpack, whatever I'm carrying that day. But that's not how those work, and we're not in the future as of right now. It's only 2016. What can you do? It's a pretty nice day. You know, I slept okay, I guess, the night before. I woke up at like 10, which is pretty good for me, honestly. 10's a pretty good time. Or 11. I like waking up either of those times. Then it feels like I still have the day left, while I can also get my sleep. And I'm okay with 9 o'clock too, but you know, I rather prefer 10 o'clock. That's the time I like more than anything. So I slept alright. The night before I didn't sleep that great though. I didn't fall asleep until like 5 in the morning. Yay. You know it's bad when the birds outside your window are chirping and you're just like, oh my god, have I been up that late? Oh, and then you like want to scream. Or you just want to like die or like curl up and disappear into your blankets and hope that you actually go to sleep. Whatever comes first. You know, I think the worst is when it gets late and you get hungry. And you get so hungry that you definitely can't fall asleep without getting something in your stomach. For me, I usually get some cheese. That's what I do. I try to have cheese on me and in the fridge, and I go get cheese and I drink something. A few times I've had cookie dough, which isn't the best idea, but you know. When you're hankering for it, you just gotta go for it, eh? You just wanna pick that up, take your food and eat it. Take a drink of water or something, juice. Maybe not juice, it kind of has a lot of sugar in it, doesn't it? Milk's okay. I think I mentioned that earlier. Milk's alright. Water's pretty much great. Water's good for you. It keeps you hydrated. Keeps your mouth from drying out like me right now. My computer's just like, why are you recording so long? Because it keeps like dimming itself. Because I'm just having it sit there. I don't know what it thinks sometimes. My computer just kind of just goes, yeah, fuck you, I'm just going to shut down. Though honestly, this is my new computer, and it's not as bad as my old computer. My old computer just like was old. I got it when I was a senior in high school, and I had it for all through college for like, it's a good 8 years. So it was about time I got a new one. I got this one a month ago. About a month or two to go. Yeah, a month or two. And I'm glad to have it. It's pretty much like my old one, but it's nicer. And it works correctly. And everything runs smoothly, which is nice. We like that. It has quite a nice amount of RAM, which lets it run okay. Everything runs pretty well. I haven't had to encounter too many problems with it. Like playing games or whatever, it usually runs it okay. It doesn't scream in agony when I open it now. Like my old one did. You open it, it goes, ah! And it screamed. And you're just like, oh, okay. And then someone was like, is your laptop okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It just does that. That happens. It happens. It's my laptop. It's just kind of how it goes. Don't get too upset about it. But you know, when you get computers, it's nice, especially since nowadays laptops are pretty essential. Laptops and phones are pretty essential for, like, day-to-day means. Like, without them, like, you can't do a lot of the things now. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, I guess, depends on your point of view, but I don't think it's a bad thing, personally. I think it's just a thing. It's how it is now. It's how we've developed. It's just how we go. Maybe one day when the machines take over, it won't be too bad. Make it more like iRobot, or the original story of iRobot, not the Will Smith version, which is different. It's very different, actually, if you gave it a read. It's pretty good. I recommend it. We have robots that help, friendly robots, not like WALL-E, not like GLaDOS. Robots are cool. As long as we treat the robots nicely, it's all good. Not all of them will be like Ultron or Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's a pretty good movie. It's a really weird movie. It's classic. In case you don't know what 2001: A Space Odyssey is, it's where the music that goes da 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 da. That's where it's from. That's where it's from. It's at the end of the movie when the giant space baby comes to Earth. And it makes just as much sense in the context as it is out of context. I'm not even kidding. It's really, really a very strange movie. And if you're not prepared for it to be that weird, then you just keep that in mind. That's going to be weird. And it's also kind of slow at the beginning, so if it takes you a minute, that's okay. Okay, so it looks like we've hit an hour on this, and that's pretty good. So I am going to call it good, and I want to thank you all for listening to the Insomniac cast, not podcast, just cast, Insomniac Cast and Insomnia Cast. I'll get this right. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a good night's sleep. Good night.